Hey everybody, welcome to the Guided Pace community. For our Module 1, get ready to gain insight and uncover your attachment style, intelligence style, and focus style. Insight. Insight begins with seeing and understanding how our mind develops, becoming curious about our own patterns and how one can learn from adversity. We all experience some level of trauma in our lives. It's unavoidable. We can't compare our trauma to another person's trauma because our brain has its own unique way of responding to overwhelming experiences. Remember, trauma can be a single big obvious event or common overwhelming patterns in our home or at school in which we felt unsafe, ashamed, or afraid. We call these little t traumas. Brain researchers have found that your body or nervous system remembers them the same. Let's look at the mind in 4 parts and what is integration.
Dan Siegel gives an incredible explanation for how the mind develops from birth. First, your mind is concerned with safety, sensing, logic, then awareness. The first part of the brain to develop is the bottom brain. This bottom brain is all about safety. We all have safety responses like fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. How a person responds in distress or overwhelming experiences, well, that will be the response that gets encoded or patterned onto that person's nervous system. The next part that develops is your right brain. This is responsible for sensing and emotions and taking in experiences, using your creativity and imagination. After children have used their right brain for several years, they really start to use the left brain and utilize logic and step-by-step instructions. The next part of the brain that develops is the top brain. This is where we become aware and focus happens. We can take all the information that we receive in our experiences, everything from sensations to emotions, logic, and reason. We can take it and put it all together to be able to form a balanced response. No one is only right brain, left brain, or stuck in survival mode. We all need to bring together these different states of mind through a process that researchers call integration. We can do this through the 4 pillars of a healthy mind, through insight, awareness, connection, and purpose.
Dr. Siegel explains that trauma, in general terms, leads to 2 huge chemical reactions. One is a sudden release of cortisol, the stress hormone. The other is high levels of adrenaline flood the body, which essentially patterns as implicit memory. We call this body memory. So next time you feel anxious, maybe feel a sudden loss of energy or get really angry, take a minute to stop, think, observe, pattern. Your automatic response may negatively impact your kids whether you're aware of it or not.
I'd like to share a tool with you called STOP. This is a great exercise to do that takes only 4 seconds. If you feel stressed or overwhelmed by something, take 2 breaths. 1 inhale, 1 exhale, 1 inhale, and another exhale. On your inhale, think stop. What just happened? On your exhale, think. Bring your attention to your thoughts. Is there an immediate thought that you have that you can identify? The O is for observe. So on your inhale, observe what is happening to your body and what's happening in the moment. The P is for pattern. We all have patterns, and we all have default reactions to stressful situations. So do you know what your pattern is in this moment? This tool takes almost no time at all, and it can be used to give you just that extra 4 seconds of space to stop and not make the same mistake again. Maybe stop and pivot, think of a new response. Sometimes we need a little bit more time than just 4 seconds, but if all you have is that, use the stop tool.
In this program, we want you to build more resilience and see where your patterns come from. Resilience is the ability to recover from hardships, setbacks, or triggers. Maybe you lose a close relationship, you don't get that job you hoped for, or your kids are making you crazy. Remember, we talked about the window of tolerance in our What is the Deal with Trauma video. Widening our window of tolerance gives us more room to move within challenges. You might be wondering how resilient you are. If you are a resilient person, you use the following skills often. You stay open-minded and flexible. You practice patience and kindness to yourself and others. You focus on the positive and show gratitude. You stay present, avoiding past regrets or future fears that you have no control over. You invest in relationships and receive support. You know your limits and ask for help. You don't think rejection means you are worthless. And you take time alone for reflection about yourself and your family. Now, don't be worried if most of these things are hard for you. Life is full of stressful things that we face daily. Maybe few of these were modeled for you in your home growing up. Some seasons of life are more stressful than others. Your mind can learn to practice for resilience the more you gain insight about your patterns. It is so healthy to observe your thoughts. Remember to be patient with yourself and just keep going. You can do this.